Hi, I'm Tenji and I'm an executive coach. And today we're talking about mindset, the supportive mindset that will help you to grow in your career and continue to succeed over and over again. What often happens is that as managers and leaders, we have legacy beliefs and orientations that may have helped us when we were younger at school or university, but they aren't serving us anymore. One of these things is expecting help and support from others. I'm trying to think about a different way to phrase that, but it's really this kind of like waiting for someone to do for us the things that we hope for our career, waiting for someone to give us a raise, waiting for someone to give us an opportunity, waiting for someone to invite us to join their project, waiting for someone to promote us, waiting, right? And it makes sense that we do this. Why? Because often what we bring to work is who we've always been in our lives. And depending on how you were raised, if you're raised in a more authoritarian household or, in a school system that was a lot more rigid and did not really encourage entrepreneurship and kind of you couldn't really take charge and do things for yourself because you had to operate within the structure set out for you. And certainly when you're, in an entry-level role, you don't have a lot of room to, be entrepreneurial and kind of create things for yourself. And sometimes we're part of guided graduate programs or management programs that teach us very structured things year on year on year. And we know if we follow the path, we'll get to the outcome. So we come to work just saying, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Or we come to work looking for a parent to, nurture us and take us with them to the next level, right? And be responsible and kind of take an interest in our growth. But what we don't realize is that in a corporate environment, actually, right, we are no one's responsibility. So what we're unconsciously doing is creating this passive receiver posturing for ourselves that makes it quite hard for us to kind of aggressively go and create opportunities for ourselves. Now, some people do this very well. Don't worry, this video isn't for you. But for other people, right, sometimes we get stuck. Even the most ambitious people at some stage can feel like no one is thinking about me, no one is helping my role. I feel like I'm getting lost in the cracks. I feel like I'm not being recognized. And we can feel disillusioned. And we end up sometimes leaving a company or opportunity prematurely because we haven't done everything that's really within our power to unlock our role. This is something that I'm right now working on with two. One is a more mid-level manager, and the other is quite a senior leader in her organization. And both of these ladies who I'm working with are really they find themselves in a really uncertain space in their roles. And they're trying to open it up. And what has come has been a lot of feelings of let down. My manager isn't really coaching me or like spending time in developing my skills, etc. And I'm trying to unlock them. And the big unlock that I see for them is self-leadership, right? A shift of belief from waiting for someone else to do for me to empowering myself to do for myself. This looks like a C from two, right? From waiting to acting, right? Let's talk a bit more about what this means. What do I mean by self-leadership? There are really four things that drive this. One is, so what is it governing? Before I talk about the four drivers, the governing idea is that you are the master of your own destiny in every shape or form at work. You have a lot of power to influence your outcome. And this is about harnessing the full extent of your power. Yes, in every situation, there's always what you can influence and control, and there's what you can't influence and control. But what will often happen is that we think we can only influence this much, and this is how much is out of our control. But what we actually don't realize is that usually the balance looks something more like this, right? And we've got a lot more power over our situation. So let's talk about some of the aspects of self-leadership that can help you to, unlock the next level of growth for yourself in your organization or open an advancement opportunity for yourself. The first is the courage to act, try, and learn. This means deciding that you are willing to push yourself out of your comfort zone, right? Not waiting for it to be a requirement of the company. Hey, we've pushed down this learning to you. Please go do this learning. I have a project I want you to do. But you saying, okay, I would like to step into a new team. I see this opportunity. That's more of the work I'd like to do. Hey, manager, I've gone and researched for myself, something that I think, could be interesting. Can I do this program? Can you support me in it? Or going off on your own and trying it out and then taking a risk to ask and raise your hand, right, for the opportunity to step into this new role, right? That's the courage, because sometimes we're afraid, how will it come across? Will I look too aggressive? Will I seem like I'm trying to take someone else's role? Will it work? I'm afraid of failure. And really here, it's about bolstering yourself to be brave enough to try. The second thing is consistent effort. Consistent effort. I sound like I'm singing a nursery rhyme. But honestly, guys, change in your career and impact in your career takes showing up every single day and doing one small thing that's going to move your career forward. You can say doing it every day or doing it every week, but you need something consistent. One of the things that I did when I knew that I was no longer feeling as excited by my work at McKinsey, because I wanted to do a lot more of the talent development and capability building work that I'm doing now, I challenged myself to have a coffee with a person who was in the area I wanted to work in at least twice a month. So I was researching on the firm's network, okay, who's done this work that I know or that I've worked with before? And I was saying, hey, I'd like to do more work in this space. Would you be willing to give me advice? I was completely out of my comfort zone, because what if they don't even remember me from the time we worked together a year and a half ago? What if I, come across like I'm asking for something and they don't really know how to help, and then I seem pushy? There were all of these things running through my mind, but I had to overcome it and say, look, if I don't try, I won't know who's willing to help me or not. And it actually ended up going well. But I had to consistently show up, because that is where the new ideation and opportunities were going to come from. And surprise, surprise, everyone I reached out to was willing to speak to me. Even people I'd been on a group call with once who I'd never spoken to directly. They were interested in my situation and gave me thoughtful advice. Third thing, radical ownership. Radical ownership is about saying that the buck stops with me. The buck stops with me. That means it is not your manager's job to get you promoted. It's not your manager's job to make sure you're being paid enough. It's not your manager's job to make sure that you are having the lit experience at work that you dreamed of when you joined your company. It just isn't, right? We think it is because we've been funneled through system after system after system that says someone is responsible for me. At home, it was our parents or our older siblings or our primary caregiver. At school, it was our teacher or our matron or our headmistress. At university, it was maybe our lecturer. And then we go to our first job and maybe it's, our immediate manager, because we're little saplings and we're trying to be nurtured into corporate life, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, you're an adult. So, well, what do you want? And sometimes we find ourselves with managers that don't have a strength in coaching us, we're not top of mind for, promotions or for, salary increases. Because also, right, sometimes you don't have the same interests, right? Your interest is in making more, but the company's interest is in managing costs. Sometimes those are competing interests. So if you're waiting for the company to pay you what you're worth, you're probably going to miss out, because they're trying to manage and keep salaries, under a manageable level, right? Managing OPEX. And so if you want more, you're probably going to be the one who's going to have to ask for more. They're not going to come and offer it to you. You might get a bonus. You might get an annual increase. But if you're doing significantly more work and taking on more responsibility, right, it's up to you to ask. And so this is something that I keep trying to unlock in my clients, is to say, have you done everything that was within your power to change the situation? Okay, so you didn't get the raise. Did you go ask for one? When it didn't come, did you say, hi, excuse me, I think you forgot to give me a raise? Or did you just say, oh my God, they didn't give me a raise. This sucks. They don't care about me. I need to leave and go work somewhere else. So that you go somewhere else and then they also don't give you a raise, and then you leave and you go and try work somewhere else. right? Sometimes what we're doing is we're avoiding stepping up. And what we need to actually do is see how much power we have to influence our situation. The last piece is committing to yourself. Committing to yourself says, I am my biggest champion. It's a little bit similar to the radical ownership piece, but it goes a level deeper by saying, I want to give myself the best outcome, and I am willing to press through my own discomfort to commit to a better outcome for myself, right? To commit to giving myself abundance. And I will not stop even when it gets hard. It's literally saying that word, I commit to helping myself get to the next level in a year, and I'll do everything in my power. And if I don't know what to do, I will go and get help, because I deserve to have someone who's committed to me. Sometimes we want everyone else to be committed to us, because guess what? We're not committed to ourselves. Awkward. So let's step back. If you're able to do this and take self-leadership in these 4 areas, taking the courage to act and try and learn, putting in consistent effort because you've taken radical ownership over your career and you're deeply committed to yourself, you will see a big shift in opportunities opening up for you, because the energy that you're bringing into your corporate space is so much more expansive in your individual delivery, in the impact you're having on your team, and the radiance of your contribution into the organization. So I'd love to challenge you to rise up and ask yourself, well, in what area in my career right now can I show a little more self-leadership and stop waiting for someone else to help improve my situation? Okay. If this is something you want to go deeper in, because I'm actually supporting quite a few clients with this right now, it's not something that comes naturally to us. Reach out. I have started a program that's helping leaders to get promoted, but I also work with leaders one-on-one to unlock some of these challenges. Reach out to me. We can have a free discovery call and take it from there. Lastly, next time, take a moment to look up. I recorded a video called Your Trauma Follows You to Work. It's a great foundation and a reference for some of the themes that I talk about in this video. Go check it out on YouTube or wherever you consume your content. All right, ciao.